Hi everyone and happy Monday. We have a very jolly page today. This is from Ivy and the Inky Butterfly, I think. This is actually from the Johanna Basford planner, of course, as I do every Monday. But as I said, this page is from Ivy and the Inky Butterfly, but it's a slightly cropped version of the main page. Now we have quite a bit of repetition around the edge, so I'm not sure quite how much to do and whether to do all on camera or not, but I think what I'm going to do is start in the middle with the cute house and then work my way out and sort of plan what I'm doing. I'm pretty sure this isn't just going to be one video. There's a lot going on this page, but we'll make a start. Now I've grabbed my Pablo pencils. These are the Caran d'Ache ones. Now I realise that these are an expensive set and not everyone's going to have them. So if you've got polychromos, I have done a conversion chart in my Ko-fi shop of those. I'm just grabbing a grey and I'm going to do the roof with the dark grey. Oh gosh, are we going to get it to show up? Maybe there, maybe. I can't really see. So yes, can we come in a bit even closer? There we go. So yes, as I say, I've got these Pablo pencils. I've done the conversion chart to polychromos. If you want one to any other brand, let me know in the comments. Now obviously I won't be able to do it immediately, so it won't be ready for this video, but I might be able to do it next month for you. And so if you can either guess for a bit or or wait, but I have, just so you know, I do have Prismacolor, I have Arteza, but only 72, not the full set. I have a full set of Castle, so if there's any of those sorts of sets you want to know equivalents, I can do that. And I don't know if the colours are the same as their luminance or any other Caran d'Ache that says, is there a smaller? No, I'm trying to think. I was thinking, is there a student grade set? But I think this might be it. I don't know. I mean, it's expensive enough to not be. I'm sure it must be an artist quality set. Very good pencils. So I'm not sure. So I'm just making it a bit darker in there and a bit lighter at the top of each roof tile, just to try and give it a slightly three-dimensional look. I'm gonna just go over the tops of those tiles a little bit more, just to really emphasize that. Now I seem to remember from the story of Ivy that the house is pink, but I can't be 100% sure. But let's go for it. I think a pink house is quite pretty. Now we've got, in this set, I just bring forward the swatch chart, which I was very kindly given when I was given the set of pencils. We have a normal pink there, look. But we have, these are a sort of more salmon-y pinks. The rose pink isn't, but it's quite different to that pink. I don't think they go well together. But we have a lot of salmon-y ones. And then we have this sort of purpley pinks. So I think I'm keen to do either the rose pink or the pink. Now the rose pink is quite close to reds, to these raspberries and rubies, which I absolutely adore. So I think I'm going to use the rose pink for the house, and then maybe these colours for some of the flowers that we've got like further out on the page. And so it'll all tie in. That's my thinking. So I'm just trying to find the rose pink, which needs to sharpen. Hang on a minute. No, let's get the right one. It's a little bit confusing because this is the rose pink. You can see, whoops, there. But this pink, which is the normal pink, says rose because that's the French name, because I've got the names in English and French, so I'm nearly got confused. It's easy to confuse me, but we're going to use the rose pink. So I'm just going to do the chimney and all of the walls just in a layer of pink. Really, not going to worry about any shading at the minute. I just want to see what it looks like when it's down on the page first. It is pretty. I think it's interesting. I was talking to husband a mess I've made. I'm going to put the sharpener, might help. I was talking to husband about pinks this morning. He said, how are you getting on, because you're not a fan of pinks? I was like, that's right. I said, I'm trying to start using pinks more because I don't want all my pinks to be left in all my pencil sets, because pink isn't my favourite colour. And he said same for him, and he asked me what sort of pinks, because I said some pinks I prefer to others, and I said I prefer the carmines and the reddy pinks like this one, compared with the I'm just thinking about what to do with the windows, because I want them to, if we make them look like the lights are on and it's yellow, I think it might clash with the pink. They're not really friends, yellow and pink. I don't think so. So what I'm going to do is grab a light cold grey, and we have, I think this one, what's this called? Steel grey. Yes, that's it. And I'm going to actually, oh, I can't work out which is there. Excuse me. I'm going to just do a tiny bit of grey on the windows to make them look like shine. I know I've got a little bit of pink on this top left here, on my right and left. So funny. Had all the family over the day before yesterday, and my parents and my sister and her children, which was really lovely. We were walking, steel grey. There, that's better. And what I'm going to do is use a Johanna Basford way of colouring, which is to put a grey and leave a bit of white. I'm going to leave the white in the same corner on every window. That's how she does them. Like that. And I said to everyone, right, we need to turn right now, and everyone turned the wrong way, and I realised that we actually needed to turn left, and I'd given them completely the wrong direction. It was quite funny. Luckily everyone thought it was quite funny, or what, maybe they were just being polite. Right, here's the ruby red. I got it working with the grey. I think it depends on the contrast between the colour of the barrel and the gold. And this is what I'm going to use for the door, because I think it's quite a pinky red. But yes, it was rather nice having everyone over. And I'm also going to use a little bit of this under here. You see where there's those little dots? I think it indicates there's a bit of a shadow, although that doesn't really look very shadowy. Maybe we'll just go over it with a tiny bit of this dark grey. I'm not going to press very hard. I don't want it to get mistaken for roof. Just going to put a tad along there. I'm layering it up slowly, and then I'm going to put a bit of the rose pink back on top. I'm not convinced it's really very good. I'm going to put a bit of pink darker here to make this little lean-to look like it's slightly set back from the house. I think that worked. I should have just done that for the roof, shouldn't I? I'm going to put a little bit under each window, and then I'm just going to leave that bit. Now the smoke is tricky. We're not going to do that yet. I'm going to do the sky. Now I'm thinking, the whole of this, there's no landline, you know. Do we do the background all in one colour, or do we do grass and sky? I've done it both ways in various versions of this picture. I've done it twice. I think the sky blue will go nicely with the colours that we've used so far. So I'm going to grab that first, if I can find it. There it is, the sky blue. So I'm, oh dear, I don't want to show up, sky blue. So I'm going to go around here with this. Now I'm going to ignore the smoke. I'm going to colour over it. I need to sharpen again. These have been sharpened in a hand crank sharpener, and now I'm putting them in my normal one. I usually try to use the same sharpener for the same set, but anyway, I haven't got my dowel in here, so we'll just have to use the other one. So I'm putting this down quite thickly because when I do the smoke in white, I want it to show up. I might do it slightly differently to how it's drawn. I'm not normally that confident, but I just want it to join the chimney. I don't know why, I just think I do want it to join the chimney. So let's get some blue. I'm wondering whether to put this all around the house. I can't decide. What would you do? It's no good telling me though, because I can't. I would have done it. I'm just layering over and over just to try and make it look a bit neater. I'm not the neatest colourist, as you know, probably because I go too fast. Let's go down to sort of here and have a think. I don't know whether it looks a bit contrived if you just put grass there. You know, because it would grow higher, there might be a bush, there might, you know, I don't know. I think I'm gonna surround the whole house in blue. It's floating in the sky. It's completely up to you how you do it. I'm just thinking that, I don't know. Anyway, I did say a while ago that I wasn't going to do many tutorials with Pablo pencils just because I know not many people have them, but I was using them yesterday and I just wanted to use them again today. They were on my desk and I was like, oh, I want them. I was using them in a Amazon printed book, so I wasn't quite getting the best out of them because it was the American paper, which in an American book, paper isn't quite such good quality as this, but you know, it was okay. Right, excuse me, I'm going to do the, I'm going to do the smoke and risk smudging it. So let's just do it, or else I might forget. So this is my white Posca pen. You can use any white pen. I'm just going to fill the whole area where Johanna's drawn smoke, including her black line, like that. Now it's a bit uneven, and in some places the blue is showing through, and I'm not sure that that isn't a good thing. My phone's ringing. Okay, let's go. Right, I am back. That was a neighbour who has moved out, but her house hasn't quite sold. She wanted to know if I had a key. It was all a bit odd. Anyway, well, I'll get it sorted out. So I need a green now for this around here. Now, I wasn't sure whether to do this tiny outline in a glitter pen or a metallic pen, just to help the little house to stand out. But what I think I'm going to do is do these leaves and do it the leaf colour, and then I'll decide later whether to do that pen or not, you know. So my smoke is quite uneven. It's dried now while I was on the phone, which is quite handy, and I like it that way because I think it looks a little bit more realistic. Obviously this is not a photorealistic picture, but you can tell what it is. That's the main thing. So, you know, it's up to you quite how you do yours. So if you don't have a white pen, then you may just need to erase the blue. Do it that way, or put a bit of grey down. Okay, greens. There's a lot of bluey greens and olive greens in this set of pencils. There aren't many what I would call mid greens, sort of normal greens, but what I'm going to choose, I'm going to grab the dark green, which is a rather nice sort of versatile colour. There we go. So here is the dark green, and I'm going to use that all around in a fairly dark, or intense, sorry is the word, layer. And then do a little bit on each leaf with this, and maybe slightly different colour on the tip. I know they're quite small, so if you may decide to just do them all one shade of green, just to keep it a little bit easier. Yeah, so I may be disturbed by the doorbell going in a bit, but that's okay. I'm sure I can glue all the videos together with a bit of Pritt stick. Yeah, I had a lovely time with all my family over. I always like having them over. But trying to organise a couple of other family get-togethers as well. So here I want a more intense layer here and just a lighter bit on the tips. And if that's too difficult for you, just do an even layer across it all. And I'm probably gonna, I may or may not bother with another colour actually on the end. It looks quite nice as it is, just fading it down. Because these are quite vibrant, excuse me, and there isn't always quite the need for the pale tip. You know, for the pale tip to be done in another colour, and they're quite small. There isn't a lot of room to fade and blend, so we may just leave it like this. But this is actually the darkest green that there is in this set, which isn't as dark as some. I'm pretty sure in Prismas the dark green is much darker than this, and in Polly's you've got like the pine green and there's a chrome opaque or something, chrome green opaque, which seem a bit darker than this, and the cobalt green, the dark one, deep, it's cobalt green deep, they seem darker than this, and you can obviously layer this up more and it goes a bit darker. But I might show you how to make it just a tad darker, because I quite fancy just those little bits or where it overlaps being a little bit darker. Yeah, as I said, I can show you in a minute how to deepen it just a little bit. Now with green, I'll talk you through my plan, my thinking. With green we can darken with a blue, because green is made of blue and yellow. So we can darken with a blue and it may still look green if there's enough yellow in the green that's underneath. However, that can be risky and it can end up just looking blue. So it is something you would want to try out on a scrap piece of paper first, just to be sure. What I'm going to do is something less risky, because I'm not going to try out on scrap paper first because I'm lazy. And I'm going to use a grey or black you could use. I think grey is nice, so it's not quite so dirty as black, also not quite so stark, you know, not quite so dark. If I was using an olive green, I would use a brown, but because this is more of a bluey green, I'm going to use a grey, and we have a slate grey in this set, which is really very dark. There is charcoal, and which is even darker, but I'm going to use this slate grey, and I'm just going to apply a little bit once I've sharpened it. There we go. So just at the base of the petal and where it overlaps, just a little. Now if I take my hand away, you can see the difference. It's not huge. Compare that one and that one. Yeah, it's not huge, but it's just a little extra if you wish. You can just layer over it with a bit more green if you prefer. It wouldn't have quite such an impact. But and when you've done with this one, you can go back over it with the green if you want to. I'm not sure it's going to be necessary. I think in a larger area you might want to blend it better, but it's quite small. I think it's okay. What I'm doing is I'm just trying to put down a little bit more on the edge and less as I go up the leaf, sorry. So it sort of naturally blends a little bit into the green that's there already. And then There we go. So there it is, just a little bit depth in there. That's it. Okay, so we have the leaves around the outside here. Let's come out a little bit. Actually, we could just push up there. The top and the bottom are the same, so I just keep, it means I can be a bit closer. Now what we can see is that each side is also the same, and each half of each side is the same, but really all I need to show you is a little corner, and then the rest would be the same. And I might do that. I just do that little corner, especially as I'm expecting my neighbour coming over. She's on her way to see me. So what I'm thinking for these leaves is to use a different shade to these, but similar. So this dark green is quite bluish. So we do have a bluish green, which could work quite well. I'm just trying to find it. There it is. So we have, I'm going to use that first. The bluish green. Oof, I cannot. Oh, I'm not sure. Bluish green. So I'm going to start here at this center point, and I'm going to, you can see it's lighter than this one, which is what I want. I mean, that's why I use the dark green. So I'm going to layer that down and then reduce it towards the tip as just the same as I did for these, but I'm going to really go for intensity just on this bigger leaf because there's room like that, and here. What I might do is I may only stick to this colour, these are going down so nicely, and then use a different colour green for the leaves that we've got around our border. Well, it's not really a border, is it? But I think you know what I mean. I was watching a great video this morning of white flowers. Ines Witherspoon, she's on Facebook and she puts her videos on Facebook. I have suggested she put them on YouTube, but she says she finds it too much keeping up with all the different platforms, which is absolutely fair enough. I totally agree. I've given up using threads now because it's just too many. I do it use it occasionally, but it's like, ugh, I just cannot do 50 million different ones. Anyway, well, that reminds me, I had a question from my boy about Reddit. Anyway, I'll try and remember to ask him later. Ines Witherspoon had done this fantastic video on how to do white flowers. Now, white flowers is my nemesis. I absolutely adore them, but I can't do them. I just don't know where to start. Her video, yay. So go and have a look at her Facebook. It's a group. I don't know if she's called Ines Witherspoon Art or just I can't quite remember, but she does lots of Johanna Basford and other things as well, and all these great videos. And it was the lemon page from Worlds of Wonder. Now, I've done a video for the lemon. Hers was much better than mine, I thought, but hers isn't quite such a beginner level as I try to pitch mine at, but that's okay. But the flowers, she made it so simple, and it looked amazing. So I'm gonna have a go, and not in a video, because you can look at her video and learn from her rather than me. But once I've done it a few times, what's that? Is that a little line or is that a leaf? I mean, this is a leaf, but is that a leaf with a line on it, drawn on it, or is that a bit of vine? I think it's going to make more sense as a leaf, so that's how I'm going to colour it. But I get stuck. So many artists do this to me, and I'm not quite sure. Anyway, So yes, go and have a look at hers. She used to be in the Johanna Basford Your Pages group and share videos in there, but she decided to leave and do them on her own page. So that's what she does. And yeah, as I say, she's got a lot of nice, good skin tone tutorials too. Although she struggled a little bit with one recently. She didn't put it up, but that's fine. We all have that. Goodness, we all do. All artists, however long they practiced for, are going to have difficulties. So anyway, but yeah, it was the little white flower. She uses Prismacolor most of the time. I think nearly all of the time actually. And they have some good colours for white flowers. Do I sound ridiculous? Maybe. Because of course white flowers aren't white. They aren't all white, or else you would just not colour them in. But you know, I think that is a whole leaf, that whole bit. That's what I've decided. That's one whole leaf, that bit. Anyway, so go and, if you want to do a white flower, not necessarily for this page, go and take a look. I also picked up some hints on white flowers from Liz Harper, who is on Instagram, and she does watercolour though, not pencil, but you can still pick up hints with regards to how to make them work and stand out and what colours to use, even if you're not using paint. Now the tips of the leaves I actually want to colour. I feel they need a little bit more to them. So I'm just having a look at the colours that I've got to choose from. I'm wondering whether to just use a light green. It's not the right shade. I think it might just work. Because if you look at the pencil, it looks quite minty. But when you use it, it doesn't quite come out that colour. But I'm going to try it. If it doesn't work, well, it doesn't work, does it? So as I say, here we go. Light green. I'm going to sneeze. Gosh, that is actually, I pressed far too hard there and it dug into the paper. That's naughty of me. So I'm just going to blend it down towards the base. And I think I'm just going to make this do for this video, and leave you some homework to finish the rest of this border part, which I'm going to do as well. I will do it before I take a photo and share it. It'll be my thumbnail, so you would have already seen it. So, and it's quite basic. It's quite plain at the moment. I'm not very happy with the fact that there's only greens, really, but obviously once we do the sort of rest of the border, then it will look different. But that's my start. I'm going to take a lot of these pinks and put them into the florals and things, and I'm hoping it's just going to lift the whole thing. So that's me for today. As I say, I'm going to do the rest of this. That's your homework to finish it off. I haven't made mine particularly neat. I'm going to sort of neaten them all up a bit. These pencils blend nicely, which gives me quite a lot of help to make it neater. And then yeah, and I'll be back tomorrow, and I'll do a bit of the border. I don't know if it'll be I'll get it done in one video or not. I'll just see. It depends how much I talk and how long I faff about. But but for now, have a super Monday. Thank you so much for watching. Tune back in tomorrow. Please like, subscribe and comment, and happy colouring.